It is time to receive upon stage one of this year's international keynote speakers. Directly from Ireland, please give a warm welcome to Kieran Guilmmurray, CEO at Digital Automation and Robotics.
It's very nice to meet everyone. My apologies, I don't speak Portuguese. The good news is I actually I'll wait until this presentation appears so someone can pop it up on screen. I had ChatGPT doing a translation there live so I could understand everything that's actually happening. On this screen, by the way, it says security alert. I'm assuming that's nothing to do with me personally. That's something to do with the presentation, although... Alrighty, let me talk. This is going to be a fast 20 minutes. I don't think ChatGPT could translate me in 20 minutes, so do your best. I'm here all day. If you've got a question, come and ask me. Needless to say, when you look at the title of this presentation, I am pro-AI, and I'm going to explain that. I've worked in business and technology for over 30 years. Despite my youthful good looks, I've worked in organizations that are 3 people size to 180,000 size, local, national, global, international, you name it, I've done it. And I've seen the impact of this technology at every level of the organization. Why I'm talking to you today is I want you to get ready for a future that's already here. So I'm going to ask a question at the very beginning, and I'm going to show you a video and say, are we or machines more creative? I'm going to talk about generative AI, the only topic to talk about these days. I'm going to talk about the impact of AI and generative AI on work now and what's coming in the very near future. Anything that's going to stop us becoming AI fueled, business's response and your response in particular, and then I'm going to talk about a mutable business model. Anybody who's scared of horror movies, my apologies, but I'll explain why I'm showing you this in a minute.
Don't go in there!
Oh my God. We're all very happy to have you here, Lee.
I imagine that's not exactly true.
Doctor, this is Lee Weathers from corporate.
I'm just looking for some information about Morgan.
Morgan was our 3rd attempt, our little breakthrough.
It's the next step in evolution. It's bioengineered with synthetic DNA.
Within a month, walking and talking. Within 6 months, it exceeded our wildest expectations.
I'd like to discuss the incident, if that's okay.
She had a tantrum. There was joy in her heart before we shoved her back in that box.
You feeling a little sad, Morgan?
Yes.
Do you like it here?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
I like my friends.
Do you think they treat you like a friend?
I mean, you think it's normal for friends to lock each other in cages? What would you do if I recommended that you should not be allowed to leave this room? What if I recommended that you be terminated?
We should end this.
Answer me! What would you do?
Where's Morgan?
Initiating lockdown.
What you don't understand is
10,
Morgan is still evolving.
9,
The people in this house are in danger.
8,
It needs to be terminated.
7, 6,
Don't be afraid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm starting to feel like myself.
Oh, everybody with me in the room still? I'm going to move it on one screen because that will make noise. Why I'm showing you that particular movie trailer is that when we watch Hollywood movies, we imagine these people are the most creative in the world, and they certainly are. But that was actually created by AI. And the crazy part is that was created by AI in 2016. So if you think about it, that's almost 10 years ago. So if the most creative people on God's earth can be helped by AI, then why not us in our jobs? Let's keep moving, otherwise I'll get shouted at in my job. So look, these phrases here that we're seeing, these are all part of our natural language. 10, 15 years ago, we might not have heard about these. Now we're starting to hear some more. Generative AI, large action models, intelligent automation, 5G, 6G. This is part of work. As HR professionals, you need to adopt these tools and this tooling, and you need to career path people to augment them with great technology to do amazing things, particularly AI, because AI is absolutely everywhere. This is the oddity. We think this is new. I used the phrase a little while ago that AI, which is just pattern matching, it takes large amounts of data, it looks for patterns in it, and then it gives you information. I call it an 80-year-old overnight success story. We're hearing about AI now, particularly generative AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Bing, Bard, you name it, it's all there. But this has been around since 1940, 1956. It depends how you want to talk to it. So it's not new. The challenge for us, though, is how do we harness it in our jobs to make us better, more productive, more innovative? And the answer is by using it. Simple as that. We already are. This is the bit that we may not realize. For the last decade or 2 decades, Amazon and Netflix have been using AI and machine learning to make recommendations for all the things we're trying to do or to buy. Well, what stops us in HR making recommendations about courses, about learning, about best career choice, the things that really matter to us? And these terms, and I'll explain some of these so that nobody gets left behind in the next talk, but artificial intelligence is just that. It's the ability or the desire to try and replicate what we are as people. There's a couple of parts to us in work. The clickety-click, which is very much the fingers, and the thinkety-think, which is us actually thinking and making decisions and making judgments that allow us to happen. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, just a subset of it, is that working that out. What have we been doing historically? What are most people trying? And therefore, if everybody else is doing that, why don't we do the same thing or make the same recommendation? In business, for example, ignoring HR for a moment, if I'm in insurance and I want to know how much I charge a customer, then I can look at all of the patterns in the data to say, how much did I charge them last year? If I charge them more money, will they stay or will they go? An easy thing to do using AI, which is quite narrow, that's a narrow question. I remember running a business a couple of years ago. The business started out at 30 million a year. We used AI everywhere, and within 3 years, that business was turning over 90 million. And all we were doing is using AI and data analytics to make better decisions compared to anyone else in the market. Generative AI, you know, ChatGPT. If you don't know these things, by goodness, please, on your phone, download it, on your PC, download it. And later on, I'm going to come up with an air of caution because there is a bit of risk to these things. But all these are just interfaces or fronts to talk to large language models or small language models. Lots of different types of artificial intelligence. You may have seen some of these. By the way, afterwards, don't worry about taking pictures or working all this out. We can share the slides. But these are all the AIs that exist. Everything from actually making decisions in much the same way that we as human makes decisions to talking. So I had ChatGPT translating Portuguese brilliantly, by the way, I hope. I hope the talks were amazing. Now when I play it back in the airplane later on, I'm going to get it to translate it in real time to me as well. Just talk to me. Robotics, again, there's something I'll show you in a little bit called robotic process automation, which is not just the thinking, but the actual physical doing in the office. Why I'm calling all these things out is the future work for me is very much human and digital. It's not either or. You do want great people augmented by great technology, but please don't make the mistake to think that humans cannot be replaced in lots of areas by tech itself. Now there are more software engineers than there are people who saddle horses or make leather goods. And the jobs that exist today are going to be very different in numbers of years' time. And those who are doing particular tasks in HR today will be doing quite different tasks next year, 2 years' time, or whatever else. Because all of the technology that you need to have human and digital workers working together already exists. This has existed for numbers of years. So if I want to see things and make decisions, then I use AI or optical character recognition or intelligent document processing. In other words, I put a resume in, I can get a computer to read the resume, automatically take that data, put that data into HR system and make judgments on that individual, as to whether they should be going forward for interview or not forward for interview. Risks of that were going to come later on. But if I put all of this technology in the chatbots, the AI, the intelligent automation, the robotic process automation, and please look up robotic process automation on YouTube, then I can essentially get technology to do a lot of the tasks that people can do. Now, there's two ways of looking at that, which is, oh my God, I won't have a job. Or, oh my God, why don't I use this technology to augment all of the great things and all of the great people that I have to allow me to do even more? And I'm a proponent of that. How does this technology work? Watch some of these things. You know, this is just computer vision. On the left, you can see it can count sheep. Not a lot of use unless you're a large sheep farmer. But notice this slowed down on the right-hand side. This is using computer vision, just literally. There's some tomatoes, some ripe ones, some not. And the next minute is actually helping decide which is which. Imagine how many people it would take to separate all those things out accurately. If I look at this is some examples of AI in work. So what's happening here? This is AI being used, industrial AI vision. It's checking for the safety of workers. As soon as machines come too close or workers put themselves in dangerous situations, the technology saying, stop, just 1 second. Great use of technology. The more you can keep people working, the less out of danger, the less likelihood it is from a production continuation point of view or from a health and safety point of view. The same thing on the right-hand side. Let me come back one here, actually. If I can get this individual working here, or I might not be able to, someone on the top desk might be able to do that. On the right-hand side here, this is a digital twin. Again, using AI in the workplace. And what I'm doing is I'm watching when there's pressure on this particular individual or where they're going to put themselves into danger. Now I can provide advice to those individuals to keep them safe in the workplace. So it's not only repeating some of the work that you do as HR professionals or some of the, what I describe as thinking jobs or cognitive jobs. It's also some of the physical jobs and some of the physical safety areas inside of businesses. All of these technologies exist and have existed for numbers of years. There's a great phrase, and I would endorse this wholeheartedly. There's some things people say sometimes and you wish you'd have said it yourself. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows AI surely will. In other words, if you understand AI and use it in your daily life, and I have about 5 AI applications open all the time, and none of them are really expensive. We're talking about maybe $100 a month, then all of a sudden you can become hugely more productive. Generative AI you will have heard about over and over again. And again, I sort of say you'll hear a lot about it in the press and the media. This is one guy I look to every so often, Bill Gates. And if you wonder whether today the people who are saying AI is important or generative AI is important and you ignore us, there's too many people talking about this. Someone like Bill Gates, notice that quote, "I've just seen the greatest advance since the mouse, the graphical user interface." Companies are putting a lot of money into this because there's real benefits. I was a head of data science for 13 years. So when blockchain came out, it was, that ain't really going to work. It will in certain circumstances. When Apple brought out their Vision Pro and I had to spend $4,000 wearing a very heavy headset to see a cartoon body that maybe didn't do a lot, it's like, that ain't really going to work either. But AI does work. I've been there. I've done it 10 years ago. So when I see it now, I get a mixture of excitement and scared. Scared is the impact it could have on work, and excited as to the impact it could have on work as well. It's a mixture of both things. But look at this phrase. This is stats and research done. It doesn't matter who does it, BCG, consultants, researchers. AI and generative AI can actually augment and actually automate 30% of jobs. If you put robotic process automation and intelligent automation in there, you can get more done. It doesn't mean that they're going to just replace 30% of jobs, because how we go about things varies on a daily basis. But if someone gave me back 30% of my time, imagine what I could achieve on a daily basis. That's why I embrace technology, to allow me to 2x, 10x, or 100x what I do. This is the real research here. So this is studies by professors. This is studies by consulting groups. Why are people excited by this? Quicker work, better quality, more productive. All of a sudden, it's a performance boost. I've done this myself. I am very, very diligent around where I spend my time and how much time I spend doing things. And I've immediately got a boost of 30-40% in quality, in output and productivity. That's one person. Imagine what you could do with that if everybody in your business was 30-40% more productive. And again, this is my recommendation for a future. Not every job. And there is a worry there. Don't try and put AI into every single situation. A great human at a moment where someone needs another individual to talk to is the best thing possible. But you will see human and digital workers working together in the non-too-distant future in a new job. And what you will see is everybody talks about AI natives, but the next generation coming through work now will be AI natives. And that's going to have repercussions. It's going to have repercussions in every part of every aspect of your job. And when you're in HR, career pathing these people and career pathing yourself, it makes a difference. Why I'm showing you these things, I'm going to take a variety of jobs, and then there's a point to this. Imagine I'm a graphic designer. In the past, I would have had to go out and hire a graphics company. I would have waited a couple of weeks for them to come into the office. I would have told them what I wanted. They would have taken that, went away for another couple of weeks, came back with some images, and I would have said, it's not quite what I want. Now, all of a sudden, I can use a Gen AI program to create whatever images I want. A snail chicken is maybe not what I want, but look at the quality of these images. These are magazine quality with a prompt, and a prompt is just me telling an item what to do. What does this mean for work? Well, go back to what I said. Decide on something in the marketing, creative, PR team, wait for 2 weeks, get the designs back, wait for another 2 weeks, get the designs back, and wait for 2 weeks. Now I can go into Bing Image Creator or something else and say, let me just draw up what I want. Let me draw these things out. That's roughly what I want, but now I'm going to go to a proper professional. I've just saved 4 weeks off of that development cycle. I've saved 4 weeks of cost and, more importantly, 4 weeks of time, and now I can reinvest that time. Let's see if we can get this to work. I'm going to show you this here. This is generation 1 of this, by the way, which is, and I speed it up just a tiny bit. Remember, generation 1, not generation next. I'm a designer, a video designer, and I want to draw a scene. I want you to create this as an advert. Give me a river. Actually, no, I don't want a river. Give me a waterfall. I don't want a waterfall. I want a desert. I want some grass. I want a fire. This can almost be done in real time at the moment. And the graphics and the imagery are exceptional. Imagine again, you're in PR, marketing, TV, advertising. All of a sudden I can type something and get it in front of me. And when you look at this, you go, okay, that's okay. But is it great? Remember, generation 1, not generation 2. So let's move on to generation 2. I worry about Hollywood, by the way, and I'll explain that in a second. This is all generative AI created, all AI, no humans involved, apart from them telling the thing what to do. I'm going to have to move it on a bit because I don't have lots of time. But look at what's happening here. All of a sudden, the tools that I can use to do the things that were traditionally done by lots of agencies, lots of people, are being removed. Now what we're going to do is have truly digital workers on top of this, on top of what we do. Anybody recognize Atana? Yeah, not a real person, by the way. This is a digital being, and there's lots of these at the moment, earning 10,000 a month. If you go to her Instagram page, there's 100, 150, 200,000 followers. I mentioned earlier on about people like this or bodies like this replacing real influencers. Well, what about replacing real actors? In the UK recently, there was a very famous actress. She did a scene for a particular group. She does her voice. The next time she went forward for a job, they says, I don't need you. And she went, what do you mean you don't need me? You're recording an advert. And says, we've already got your voice. And now they're using voice AI to replace her. Hence Hollywood complaining a little bit. I ask a question. Which one of these two are real?
Maybe you're in that place right now where you want to turn your life around. And you know somewhere deep in your soul there could be some decisions that you have to make. Like, it's like things.
If you plan to go for a run and you don't have enough time to do a full run, do part of a run.
Right, I've been slightly naughty there. I'm asking you which one of those are real. The answer is, by the way, neither of them are real. Both of them are AI creations. Now work that through. Why don't I have an AI that could stand on stage instead of me? Why don't I have an AI that could deliver a course in 57 different languages spent or put out on the internet? Why don't I have an AI doing customer service? Why don't I have an AI answering all the HR questions that sit? And the answer is, why not? Because the technology is getting there. But what does that have as an implication on your ability to serve? And what does that have as an implication on your ability to do your job? Coders. Remember back in the day, you used to have to spend ages doing coding. Now I can just point a computer screen at a board and it'll write the code for me. 57% quicker than anyone else. If I have 100 coders, what does that mean? I get more done, or I replace 57% of my coders? That's the choices you're going to be faced with in HR. And then my question. Everybody, I show all these examples every time of all the things that AI could do and technology can do, and everybody gets excited and goes, wow, I'm going to get that. And then I say, well, what about your job? And everybody goes, no, not possible, my job. The answer is AI can do a lot of things. The key bit is putting AI in the right place. Some risks, and then I'll finish in about 1 minute or less. Your job is technically under threat if you don't learn AI. There's something called digital Darwinism. If you don't learn to use technology and AI, someone else will. So please look, there is a lot of hype around at the moment. I'm surprised AI can't make my dinner, wash my car, and do something else. You know, it's crazy, so be careful. The inputs that go into AI, everybody complains about its bias. Guess what? We wrote it. It's our bias, it's just repeating back to us, but be careful because it's repeating it back at scale. Some of it is trained on the internet. Someone said one of the ChatGPTs or one of the engines was trained on Twitter. Oh my God, please don't do that. If you know Twitter, that's not a great place to be at times. Copyright's a worry, talent. How do you learn these skills? HR professionals, you need to learn it. You need to be career pathing everyone in your business to use these tools over the next period of time. Do so with care, because there are global rules that said if you steal stuff, break laws, put out AI that harms, you will get in trouble. And there is something called hallucinations, which it looks like the right answer, but it's actually not. Here's two lawyers in the US. They went to court. They presented 6 cases to say, please argue the case for us. ChatGPT had made up the cases. They got sacked. They lost the case, and repercussions are still there today. A caution as well. Look, if someone can play that video as well up at the back, just because you can use AI doesn't mean you should. I want you to be excited by it, but I want you to be cautious by it as well. This is people making coffee. It's assessing who's the most productive coffee maker, and they're watching. Now, again, is that the best use of AI? In other words, why not tell me how many customers are coming in, and then I match the staff to it? Why not find the most productive coffee maker and then teach the person who's not productive? So again, when you use AI, please, please, please be careful. What's stopping AI just going everywhere? The answer is something and nothing. For $20 a month, I can have ChatGPT, Claude, Grammarly, Otter.ai to record all my meetings, my action notes, and. So nothing, low cost. But there's security risks. You put your data in, you're in trouble to a degree. Samsung discovered that last year. They put in all their code and copyright. Of course, it made it part of the training model. But you can spend more money, $500,000 or $50 million, but you can be immediately productive with cheap SaaS tools. Data quality is key, working out business use cases, understanding what do I do as a HR professional if everyone's more productive? Do I let go of a lot of people? Do I run a more efficient business? Do I create a bigger pie? And the mutable operating business is this. If I look at me as a business owner, there's me here, my team in India, my team in Sri Lanka, my team in England, my team in London, my team in the US. All of these people are working together all the time using Gen AI tools. Nobody's permanently employed for me, and they all work in different jobs at the same time because they can, because they're more productive. They can do 3 jobs at once and earn 3 salaries because of the tools. What does that mean for you and for your businesses as well? Do you want permanent employees? Do you want to pay for outcomes? How will you run your workforce in the future? You have a lot of questions. You need to get a people and digital strategy working. You need to sell a vision. You need to understand how AI works. You need to understand its implication on work. And now you need to be in a constant state of reinvention as an individual and as an organization, because technology is changing everything and it isn't going to get any slower. It's just going to get quicker. That's me. I've run out of time for questions, but I am standing around today, so please come and ask me questions all day. Ideally in English or ChatGPT in my hand. I'll do my best to translate between both of us. Thank you.